Is that a breakup?
I think we have a situation right here.
On the Feeling Station.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's happening, bro?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Good to connect. I lost you there for a few seconds, but it's good to have you back.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we go too far, I need to let you know I'm recording an episode of The Feeling Station, so please do your best not to say your name, okay?
Yeah, I'll try.
All right. And for those who are joining the podcast for the first time, it focuses on breakup stories that people would like to talk about with a view to give you, the listener, a lesson or lessons that you could pick up from. And part of the reason why this podcast is doing really well is that, one, it's not judgmental. And two, we speak very candidly and openly. And third, and most importantly, we do our best to keep the people anonymous. Which brings me to the exciting part, right? This is the part where I give you your name. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah, shoot.
Right, so I've gone to the warm heart of Malawi. The name that I'm giving you is in Chichewa, and the name is Dalitso.
Dalitso.
Yeah, Dalitso. So Dalitso, Dalitso.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Dalitso.
Yes, and that means blessing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really good meaning. So my first question is, so in this story that you're going to tell me today, who was a blessing to the other? Were you a blessing to her, or she was a blessing to you? Or you guys were not blessings to each other? What's the story?
I think it's more of, I think you got to determine whether I was a blessing.
Oh, really?
I might say I was a blessing,
Yeah.
but then
But you are not.
I wasn't a blessing.
Okay, I like the sound of that. And this is the fun part. You need to give her a name. So what name have you chosen for her?
Well, I was busy looking, so I just thought of a city.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I thought, maybe, from Mannheim, maybe Berlin will be.
Oh, really?
suitable.
Are you a money heist guy? Wow. Do you know, I think I must be the only person on this planet who hasn't seen Money Heist. Everybody's spoken about it, and I've tried watching it. I tried watching it, but part of my frustration was in reading the subtitles.
That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. I like to see images and I like to see what's happening in the picture. And if I can't, because I'm looking at words, I lose interest. So, nah. I'll give it a shot though.
And I understand.
So this story is about Dalitso and Berlin, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, let's get straight into it. What lesson or what lessons would you like people to learn from the story that you're going to share today?
Well, basically, it's more of red flags.
Oh, red flags.
Usually.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I noticed we actually see them, but then we actually at times ignore them.
Really?
We choose to ignore them. It's more of like we choose to hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that your lesson there is pay attention to the red flags, and whilst we see them and we choose to ignore them, do not ignore them. Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Right, let's get into it. So I want to know how you and Berlin met. Where does your story begin?
Well, it begins at high school.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it was, I think, around 2018.
Uh-huh.
So I was a senior there,
Mm-hmm.
and, she was a junior.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is, when I was about to finish school,
Yeah.
that's when we started making contact and whatnot.
Okay.
We became friends for about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
2 years, basically we were getting to know each other by then. So in those 2 years, after I think 2015, 2016, we started dating 2016.
Okay. And at this time, you had left high school, or you're still in high school?
I had left high
You had
school
left.
now.
Okay. So you started dating after you had left high school. Was she still in school at that time, or you had both left?
No, she was still in school.
Okay. Cool. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So now when we started dating, I had come back from China at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back and started uni in Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was flowing. When you're newly,
Newly in
those new
love.
lovebirds.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let me fast forward a bit.
Okay.
We actually dated up to this time. Actually dated for 4 years.
For 4 years.
Yeah.
So from
It's 4 years.
2016 to 2020.
2020.
Yo,
So
your
more of
story
a
is
recent
fresh.
data.
How
Very.
I mean, how fresh are we talking about here? Is it months since you guys broke up?
I think roughly it's almost a month and a half now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Go on.
Yeah. So, I'm fast forwarding. Well, we both stay in the same city, but then when I went to varsity, it was just a different city. So we can put it as almost a long distance relationship.
Oh, okay.
But then obviously during the holidays I used to come back.
Yeah.
So everything was flowing so well, and and whatnot. So what happened is now when she finished uni, she started applying for places in Zim too.
Okay.
Well, at first she wanted to come to my school. At first, and I was okay with it.
Yeah.
But then she actually found another place at another uni in another city. So basically, so it meant that we'd see each other during sim breaks or during holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, she expressed interest in coming to the uni where you were. And obviously you are, I'm guessing you were excited and happy that you guys will be spending more time together and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So how did you feel when she decided to go to a different uni? Did that bother you? Were you sad, or were you okay with it?
Not even because when she told me, I actually helped her choose a program.
Okay. I mean, so you were helping her to be away from you, pretty much.
No, not really. Both unis have the same program, but then you start weighing some options.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really disappointed.
Okay.
Because the option that was there, it actually made sense.
Okay, right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so when she started uni, I was now on attachment by then. I was now on attachment by then. So I used to visit her at school. Then that's when everything started.
When you say that's when everything started, what are we talking about? Is that when everything bad started?
Exactly.
Okay.
Before
Before you get into the things that started going bad, I'm interested in finding out some of the things that you liked about her in the first place. So what did you like about Berlin?
Well, at first, it was more of the sense of humor, the connection, and the communication. We would talk for about maybe an hour or so, like almost every day.
Wow. So you guys were pretty much into each other. You had a good sense of humor.
Exactly.
You had good chemistry. You had good conversations. You didn't have those awkward moments. Sometimes you speak to someone over the phone and the phone goes blank because you don't know what you want to say to each other. Stories are finished. You never had any of those problems.
No, not even.
All right.
Not even. It wasn't even like, you're not even like trying hard to find a conversation.
It's literally just flowing.
Yeah.
And this was consistent over the 4 years that you guys were dating. You constantly found each other funny in terms of the sense of humor, and the chemistry was all good.
Yeah, we would talk like almost every day.
Okay.
Every day.
Okay.
So, what happened is, this other time I wanted to visit her at school, and then she's like, you know what? I'm actually busy today. I have assignments and whatnot. I was like, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Was this the first time? Was this the first time that she'd ever said she was too busy for you to come and see her?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think when she said that?
At first it's like, she's at school. What do you expect?
Yeah.
So you just that was okay.
Yeah.
So it kept on going on like that, and then I was like, I asked her this question: are you avoiding me, or you just don't want me to come to your school, something like that?
How long,
So
had she been giving you excuses for?
Well, I think it was almost now a month.
A month?
Doing that, yeah.
So someone that you used to speak to every day, somebody that you used to see quite regularly, now suddenly you're seeing, I mean, you hadn't seen in 1 month, but were you at least still speaking on the phone for hours?
Yeah.
You were?
On the phone, yeah.
Okay.
It was, but then, she used to say the network is bad, those funny excuses, then you start questioning what's happening. Yeah.
Had the network been bad before?
Not even.
So the network was generally quite good, and then suddenly the network started getting bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, the story is getting bad very quickly. Right, go on.
Oh, so what happened is, okay, fine. This other time, she told me she's going out, and she said her sister is in town, so she's going out with her sister, Gigi or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was, oh no, okay, you guys go enjoy. Right. Then, so I think it was around 12 midnight. Then I tried to call her. Oh, she answered. Funny enough, she answered. Then I had a voice of this guy in the background, He just popped out like. Then I asked her what's happening, and then she just cut the phone, and then switched it off the whole night.
Whoa. Let me pause you right there for 1 sec, brother Dalito.
Yeah.
So you hadn't seen your girlfriend in 1 month, and then on the night that she decides to go out, you call her, you hear the voice of a man in the background, you ask about this guy, and then she disappears.
She just disappears. She switches off the phone.
I want to know what went through your mind at that moment.
Well, the first thing was, no, she's out with another guy. That was the first thing that came into my mind.
How many times did you try phoning her after that point?
Well, I usually try, I just try twice. So that I don't get, all riled up and upset.
Yeah.
I just tried it, and then I knew she switched off the phone. So I just went quiet. So the next morning...
Did you manage to sleep that night properly?
Well, you'll be stressed, but then you got no option.
Okay, you were stressed, right?
Yeah.
What was going through your mind? That's what I really want to tap into, because I've been in a situation like that before, and I'm just trying to get a feeling of whether what I was feeling at that time was justified or the same as yours or not. So what were you really feeling? Were you angry? Were you feeling jealous? Did you feel like just getting into the car and driving to her place? What was going on?
Well, I was actually pissed.
Yeah.
I was really pissed. Because I was asking myself that where would she lie?
Yeah.
That she's with her sister while she's with this other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now what happened is the next morning, I think around 8, 9, something like that. That's when she texted me. It was like morning. Like everything's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
like everything's okay. So, so me, I was pissed. So I just started venting, out of the blue. But then I was like, it's not cool to cut your phone. If you had gone out with this guy, you should have told me and whatnot, something like that.
Yeah.
But that was one red flag.
Was that the first time that you were upset with her?
Well, really, really upset. Yeah.
Okay.
You might have, we had our moments like where we would fight and whatnot, but then we didn't, well, it wasn't this serious.
Yeah. Could you tell that you were very upset?
I was very upset.
And could she tell?
Well, she could. She knew it. She knew I was upset.
Yeah. What was the reaction?
She just played it cool. Like nothing ever happened. So the problem now was she was making me the villain now. Like, you're overthinking this, whatnot, that kind of gist.
Okay. So she was now trying to flip it on its back to make you feel like you're the one who's being the bad guy and looking too much into this. Okay.
Exactly. So, well, we actually managed to resolve the issue because I didn't really have proof, like solid proof, whether she was cheating on me or not.
Yeah.
So we just decided, okay, let's let it slide.
Well, were things normal after that point? Or you could tell that it was just different, your communication and stuff?
Well, the communication was a bit, she was still acting weird at that time. So what I did was, okay, fine. Well, it's cool. She's acting weird. So I decided to just play it cool, just minding my own business, not always asking why you're not picking my calls and whatnot. So this other time, she just came out of the blue, like, I think it was a Sunday. Yeah. I had gone for a soccer match, like I was just, with my friends and whatnot. So what happened is, out of the blue, she just texted me and she says, "I love you," like out of the blue, just like that.
Okay.
Okay, so what's happening now? Then my first instinct, are you okay?
Wow.
And then she said, "Yeah, I just wanted to know. Just wanted to let you know that I love you." Okay, I was okay. No, it's cool, And then I reciprocated the love. Yeah. So it went on like, well, things started to normalize, something like that. So when I was done with my attachment, let's fast forward. I went back to school, and she was at school too. So we will talk like almost every day, Well, at the time, nothing fishy was happening. So when I came back now, she came to see me, and so I got hold of her phone. So I don't usually go to her messages because obviously I knew that when she would come, you'd find some messages deleted and whatnot. So I never really wanted to ask about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's at the time. So I was browsing through her phone, like her gallery. Then I saw.
Why were you browsing through a phone? Sorry for asking. Why were you browsing through a phone in the first place?
Well, we used to have this habit, like, we were so into memes, like those memes. So she used to take my phone and she would say, "I just want to see your gallery," because I used to take screenshots of memes and whatnot.
Oh, okay. So you guys used to look through each other's phones just to catch up on the memes and have a laugh, because you did mention that you guys had a good sense of humor, so it makes sense.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happened is I saw those photos from this other party. Well, she never told me about the party. Then she tells me, no, these are my cousins, whatnot. Okay. And no, you know what? It's cool. But then what bothered me is she never told me.
Yeah.
She went out.
Yeah.
Went out. So I was fine. I was fine with it. So now, what happened is, now when I was when I went back at school, we had a massive argument over the phone. I don't know what she did by then. I really forgot. So she started saying, "If you don't feel this relationship, I think we should just end it," just like that. So I was like, "Okay, are you giving up or whatnot?" And then she's like, "No, I just don't want to fight with you." What. Okay, I was like, "Okay, fine."
Yeah.
But then you can say, out of these petty arguments, then you start giving up on us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she decided to be reasonable, and well, we sorted out our issues. So then I started, so I think when I was on Facebook, that's when I saw this guy who she claimed she was a cousin, like from the party.
Mm-hmm.
Then I realized I had seen this guy before, and both of us being at the same school, but this guy is not even a cousin.
Really? So where did you seen this guy before?
Well, I think I don't want to mention the town.
Okay,
then,
okay.
Our school was when we were at high school, right? So you used to mingle with these other other schools.
Yeah.
So that's when I saw this guy.
Okay.
Like,
so this
I knew
guy,
about this guy.
So this guy is from one of the schools in the town that you all went to.
Exactly.
And from mixing and mingling, you had spotted him. It sounds like you guys weren't really friends with this guy.
Yeah.
He's just a guy who you just knew as a guy.
Exactly.
Okay, so you saw him on Facebook, and the picture that you saw him on on Facebook, was he with Berlin, or he was just at the party?
No, at the party.
Okay.
Too. So I was actually shocked.
Yeah.
She had lied to me.
Yeah.
That she was with her family, her cousins.
Yeah.
And then now I'm finding out, she had actually gone out with this guy.
Got a question for you. At that point, were you deliberately going through her pictures, or the picture just randomly came up on the newsfeed?
Well, it just when you post when you're friends on Facebook, it just comes up, and then you notice, you just know everyone. Well, how can I put it? You guys are from the same town, same school, and you're bound to be friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. It just popped up. I was like, okay. So I just decided to keep quiet about it. I just kept quiet.
Why did you keep quiet though? Because you could have confronted it. Because I get the feeling by this point you already had suspicions. And your suspicions were getting confirmed one by one without you even really making an effort. So that was a good chance for you to ask, and say, hey, what's going on? Why didn't you ask the question at that time?
Well, when you come to a certain extent where you're just tired of fighting at times, over the same issue, because we had an argument about that like last time about this other guy, and then it's this other issue again.
Okay, so you didn't want to be that guy who's appearing to be petty about things that you didn't have enough substance about. Okay, gotcha.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So well, we just kept quiet about it. So fast forward, then, she used to be this girl. Well, when you had a birthday, she would actually call you at maybe minute after midnight.
Yeah.
And you talk like she'll be wishing you happy birthday. She'll be all riled up about your birthday. So excited. So I recently had a birthday in July. So, well, what she did is she actually forgot it.
She forgot your birthday.
Yeah.
Was this the first time she'd ever forgotten your birthday in the 4 years you'd been together?
Yeah, that was the first time.
Rah.
Yeah. So I just kept quiet the whole day. People wishing me, because I was actually busy. People were wishing me happy birthday, calling, and whatnot. So when I realized she had actually forgot it, she then called me, and then she was like, "I'm sorry, Gigi," or whatnot. And I was like, I know it happens to everyone.
A question: Did she call on your birthday or the day after?
No, she called like later on, like I think around 4. But then you'd expect to be the first people to say
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So that's what happened. So I was about to finish my final year. So when I finished, that's when I came back. So I was making plans to go see her and whatnot. So when I came back, she started acting weird now. You see, and then when I used to try to call her, she would decline my calls, and then it kept on going like that,
Yeah.
Well, on WhatsApp we would talk normally, and then when I would try to call her, then
She just wouldn't pick
she would
up.
decline my call.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What excuse
So,
would she give for not taking your call?
well, she would either say she's busy or she's busy with her schoolwork, with all those online lessons and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, she actually had solid reasons,
Mm-hmm.
So this other time now, I called her. I think it was urgent, and then she declined it. And I was like, "Why aren't you picking my calls? I want to talk to you for a few minutes." And then she's like, "I don't like calls." Like,
I don't like calls. That is weird. Someone who used to speak to you over the phone for over an hour suddenly doesn't like calls.
yes.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. Yeah, I actually said, we used to talk a lot over the phone,
Yeah.
and now you're telling me you don't like calls.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, thank you for letting me know. That was that. Then she sent me a 2-minute audio saying, I don't think this is gonna work because you always up in my business, something like that. So I was like, okay. I was shocked because I didn't really expect that to happen. So then, I think it was around midnight, so I didn't really reply. I then replied the following day. I'm like, so you're saying we're gonna end this because of these petty arguments and whatnot. And then she's like, it's these petty arguments that get boring at times, and they pile up every time, and whatnot. Okay. I was like, okay, well, I don't really understand. And then she started going back and started saying, I've been reading these books, I don't know, these Christian books, and they tell us, if you guys are not, if you guys are always arguing about the same issues, you should break it up. I was like, okay, but then you should know, not all relationships are the same.
Yeah.
Not all relationships are the same, and well, you can't say there's petty arguments because it's more of me telling you how I feel when you do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she wouldn't budge. So I think I kept quiet for 2 or 3 days. Then I just texted her this other time. I don't understand. Like, well, I started feeling like I was the person who was wrong. So I texted her. Then she says, you know what? We are just not compatible. Okay, I was like, okay, but then over these 4 years, he's starting to say we're not compatible now. Why?
Yeah.
And then she started saying, we have different religions, whatnot. She would make up excuses, And then I was like, oh, okay. This is the first time we've had this discussion because you knew my religion way back.
Yeah.
And you used to say you would like to come to my church.
Yeah.
And then now you're telling me you were not comfortable because of that. I was like, okay, and it's fine. Then we just went silent again. Then I think when we talked again, she started saying, it's not you, it's me.
Oh, no.
That kind of, those statements.
That
Yeah,
cliche
good
line.
person.
That cliche line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so cliched, man. It's so cliched. So, she's saying, you deserve someone who's better, I'm not a good person. Then that was when I just said, you know what? I think I was just blinded by love.
Yeah.
Because all along I could see what was happening, and I chose not to, chose not to act on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I just turned a blind eye.
So I got a question for you. Did you eventually confidently confirm that she was seeing another guy, or it remained a suspicion until you guys broke up?
Well, my view was, because I actually confronted her. I gave her these two scenarios, and I was like, you know what, you actually seeing maybe one of these guys, you're actually seeing them. Then she's like, well, it didn't really happen like that, so that was my confirmation.
Okay, so how did it really happen? If someone says it didn't really happen like that, did she tell you more information about how it actually happened then?
No, she didn't really, because I felt like we're now fighting. I was like, you know what, but you just confirmed for me that you were really cheating on me, and that was it.
So who broke
Just
it
like
off?
that.
Was it you or it was her?
Well, it was her.
Wow.
So, well, what I'm trying to put across is we actually see these red flags, but then we usually turn a blind eye on these things.
Yeah. Because half the time we're so blinded by love, we choose to ignore it.
Exactly. So, after 4 years, then someone tells you that you're not compatible. Well, I usually think you can tell that you're not compatible within a year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
you
even
can tell that.
a year might even be too long. All it takes is, for most people, a couple of weeks. That this is not right. But
This
then you choose to give
exactly.
it a chance because you think it might get better. But your guy's relationship was sweet for a good 4 years, and then suddenly it just went sour very quickly. I think what's unfortunate for you, and I'm only saying this based on how I would feel. If I had these suspicions and I couldn't prove them, that would be very, very frustrating for me.
Yeah, it was very frustrating.
How are you dealing with not having the evidence and the proof, like 100% solid proof that it was this guy, and you just kind of had a relationship end based on a suspicion? How does that feel?
Well, it's more of like you keep going on, like in your head, like, okay, fine. So you keep asking yourself questions like, well, these guys really seeing each other. Maybe they started seeing each other way back. You keep going on and on and on. So well, it's so painful. It's so painful at first, but then at times you really have to accept what's coming your way, and you gotta move on.
So you guys broke up over text. She broke it off via text.
Exactly.
And voice note. Just those two. She couldn't even give you the decency of a decent face-to-face conversation to say, hey, Dalitso, this is not happening anymore. I want out.
Not even.
That's crazy.
She didn't even.
Has she blocked you?
No. The funny part now, we've dated for 4 years and we've been friends for 2 years, so we can say it's now 6 years. And during these 6 years, we've never missed a day, like not talking to each other. And then now she's just radio silent, just like that. Like she just switches off, like she doesn't. She doesn't have anything to do with you anymore. Yeah. Just like that.
Yeah.
So it's so shocking. Like, over these 6 years, we would talk every day, and then it's just like that.
The change is too drastic.
Exactly.
It almost feels as if her attention has been grabbed by someone else who she's now spending more time speaking to.
That was my assumption.
Which makes it easier for her to forget you.
Exactly.
Man.
So
that sucks, man.
So yeah, it really sucks. So at times, you feel like, you're not enough. Like you start questioning yourself, like, and hurting yourself. So I had a recent discussion with this other cousin of mine, and it was an eye opener. And after that, I actually started feeling good. And well, I think I'm not gonna date anytime soon.
Why? Why is that? Why is that?
Well, it's more of I have to give myself time.
To heal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when when the right moment comes up, then maybe maybe I can try it out.
So talking about the right moment, how will you know that the right moment is here? And how much time do you think you need to heal? Is there a fixed time? But what are you using to measure to say, okay, now it's okay for me to start looking at being with someone?
Well, the problem is right now when I see, well, obviously I see a lot of beautiful women out there, but
Yeah.
then, you know, I still feel like because of this pain I still have, I would actually hurt this person because
Okay.
you know I still love this other person,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
I can't just ignore it. So it's more of trying to move on first.
You know, that's a really nice quality. You're a sensitive guy in that you think about the other person's emotions before you think about your own.
Yeah,
And that's a very good quality because speaking from a guy's perspective, you know, I know a few guys who've had their hearts messed up by girls and they just go crazy. They go hurting girl after girl after girl after girl.
exactly.
And it's not a nice thing because at some point they always turn around and say, oh, I really shouldn't have done that. So you're
see.
doing it the other way around where you're avoiding it. And, you know, that's really commendable, Dalito. You know, well done for taking that approach to stuff.
Thank you.
You know, and for those who are listening to this episode, and perhaps you might be interested in my brother Dalito here. all you have to do is give the brother just a little time, and I can tell he's a really sensitive guy, and it's important for me to just double check that you are over Berlin. Are you over her? Not yet over her. What's really going on?
Well, I can say I'm really over her.
Yeah.
Because
If she
almost.
if she came back running today, would you take her back?
Well, I wouldn't. I don't think I would.
Are you sure you wouldn't take her back?
I think now I'm pretty sure now.
Okay.
Was it's still the pain.
Yeah.
And because with all this that has happened, you're not sure if the person can change,
Yeah.
And so it's more of, you just have to maintain peace.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the funny part is, it usually happens this way. These guys, it's not my first breakup, of course. And, usually these guys always, come back and start apologizing. Something like that. So I feel...
Especially when they realize that the guy who they eventually moved on to was not what they expected him to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have to be in a place where I just have to forgive people.
Yeah.
Because I can't say I've moved on if I'm not able to forgive the person.
Yeah. Well, that's really commendable, man. Honestly, I just want to say thank you very much for sharing your story. It's not very often that we hear situations where it dissolves this way. I'm not trying to stereotype things, but half the time it's usually the guy who messes up.
Yeah.
But when you hear it from this angle, it's really eye-opening. And I'm just going to run back the lesson for those who are listening to this episode. Dalito and Berlin were in a good, strong relationship for about 4 years. Within that period, they spoke to each other regularly. They had a really good sense of humor. And then somewhere along the lines, there were some red flags that Dalito picked up. There was a guy on the phone when she once went out to a party. She went to a party that she didn't tell him about. She claimed it was a party for relatives, but she saw another guy in the pictures. His suspicions were that something wasn't right. But the problem that he's brought to the table is that he didn't act on these red flags. Something that happens when we are knee deep within love. So the lesson from today, if there are any red flags in a relationship that you're in, act on those as soon as you can because your gut is never wrong. Or if it is, it's only 0.0001% wrong, right?
Very true.
And he's taken a really interesting and good stance where he's chosen not to be in a relationship because he doesn't want to bring relationship baggage to anything new that he's working on, which is commendable. I've got to shout it out and say well done for that. And if there are any guys who might be thinking about revenge because their hearts have been broken, take a page from Dalito's book. forgive first. Get that hurt out of your heart before you move on to something else, because the next person that you potentially could be with just does not deserve that baggage. You've been listening to another episode of the Feeling Station podcast. I'm your host, Tinto, and I look forward to catching you in the next one. Peace.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Satis on Daro Raini and Chagezai.
Tell me what you're feeling. Now that it's over.
Satis on Daro Raini and Chagezai.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Urudoi motoru noto kujiziro amai.
Kujiziro amai. Love is a fire.
Urudoi motoru noto kujiziro amai.